what's going on in Chicago? I said the other day, what the hell is
on Pac for $1 million. Him and Suge. Not just Pac, on Suge too.
Desperation and fear that caused Combs to solicit this murder from a gang member.
Keefe D, being a prominent Southside Compton Crip, had claimed during his secretly recorded confession tape of 2009 that his relationship to Puff Daddy went back to 1993. Keefe D claimed he was introduced to Puff Daddy through Eric Zip Martin. Zip was a notorious figurehead in New York City who was known for finessing people, and Keefe D claimed that he and Zip were allegedly involved in drug trafficking. Keefe D claimed Zip introduced Puffy to him in the early 90s when Puffy was holding a party at a club called Paradise 24 in Santa Monica. Police documents claim Puffy would then go on to attend neighborhood baseball games with Keefe D and Zip, where LA gangs would make wagers on the game, with Zip playing in them as part of the bet. Keefe D claimed that Puff Daddy had borrowed Keefe D's car, which was then used in Usher's debut music video for a song called Can You Get With It, being from 1994. Keefe D had claimed that Puffy paid him afterwards to have the car repainted, as Usher had damaged it when using it in the music video. Keefe D's relationship with Puffy continued throughout the 1990s, which tied together criminal groups of the East Coast and the West Coast. This is in relation to the Southside Compton Crips and the criminal underworld of New York who Puffy was connected to, which was labelled in a 2003 lawsuit as the Enterprise. Kirk Burroughs was once the president of Puffy's label Bad Boy Entertainment, but was fired in 1997. He had sued Puffy in 2003 for $25 million. In the 37-page legal document, Burroughs says that Puffy had set up what he had dubbed as the Enterprise, which the documents claim was a group which allegedly took part in murder and extortion. This extortion aspect has been tied back into the funding of Bad Boy Entertainment, which is speculated to have been tied into criminal gangs of New York. Tupac, in a 1996 interview with Sway, claimed East Coast drug dealers had Puffy under extortion.
The East Coast drug dealers got them under extortion. I came and f***ed up everything.
These claims tie into the rumor or theory that Puffy's label was funded by gangsters of New York, which then went on to extort him and his artists. Some reports claim Bad Boy was supposedly funded by the Black Mafia, with some claiming this to be the Detroit Black Mafia family, while others claim it is a different gang of New York. Notorious gangster Walter King Tut Johnson was said to be a member of the Black Mafia gang, which was rumoured to have funded the startup of Bad Boy. Tupac, in a 1995 interview with Monster Cody, claimed the gang was called the A-Team.
These fools from New York, this gang out there called A-Team. These fools was mad because I told them I wasn't with them no more.
This gang is associated to notorious New York gangsters such as Haitian Jack and Jimmy Henchman. Jimmy Henchman paid $2,500 to have Tupac shot 5 times by Dexter Isaac and King Tut, being in the lobby of a New York recording studio in 1994, while Puffy and Henchman had been waiting upstairs. This started a rift between Tupac and Puffy's artist Biggie, who was also at the studio when Tupac was set up. Puffy had also started animosity with West Coast record executive Suge Knight a year later in 1995, after an incident had taken place in Atlanta. The 2003 legal documents of Burroughs vs. Puffy claims Puffy approved the 1995 shooting murder of Suge Knight's friend and Blood gang member Jake Robles, which took place at an after-party in Atlanta. Deputy C.J. Howard, who was at the party providing off-duty security, identified Southside Compton Crips Corey Edwards and Keefe D's nephew Orlando Anderson as being with Puffy during the time of the shooting and had listed them as suspects in the case. Keefe D, during his recorded confession, claimed that Puffy began to give the Southside Compton Crips tickets to his shows when he would perform in California to provide protection from Suge Knight's Bloods.
Just give us like 40, 45, 50 tickets. He gave us some tickets and I brought the crew.
Suge Knight bailed Tupac out of prison in October of 1995, and he had signed to Death Row Records, with Suge Knight and Tupac now both having animosity towards Puffy and Bad Boy. Keefe D claimed in December of 1995, after Tupac and Suge Knight had locked Bad Boy Associated producer Mark Anthony Bell inside a room and had beaten with bottles to give over Puffy's family's address in California, Puffy had allegedly, after a concert at the Anaheim Coliseum, had taken the Southside Compton Crips back to a party in a hotel room which Zip was also at, where Keefe D claimed he'd first ever made claims of wanting Suge Knight and Tupac dead.
He said he'd give us anything for them dudes there, you know?
In Anaheim?
Yeah. Whole room full of Crips.
Hey guys, Pace Morby here. As you know, I do single family, multifamily, mobile home parks, all sorts of stuff utilizing.
Artist Lil C's of Biggie's group Junior Mafia confirmed seeing the Southside Compton Crips at the December concert in 1995, being in the Anaheim Coliseum.
Okay, you saw that guy at number 2 there, huh? Yep. Good show. We did a show at the Anaheim Coliseum.
The Soul Train Music Awards took place in March of 1996 at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. Puffy and Biggie were attending the event and were set to be on stage. Tupac and Suge Knight were also attending, and Suge Knight had upward of 30 Bloods dressed in P-Funk shirts representing Pyru, who had planned to pull the Bad Boy artists off the stage. Keefe D was providing security for the venue and had gotten intel of the plot against the Bad Boy artists, which then stopped it from happening. An argument broke out between the two labels when they had run into each other at the event. Puffy's bodyguard Gene Dill claimed that after this, Puffy had said that he didn't care if Puck had to die, he didn't care if Big had to die, and he didn't care if Suge Knight had to go to jail, but something had to change. Keefe D had claimed in his recorded confession that allegedly in the summer of 1996, after Tupac released a diss track Hit 'Em Up, aimed towards Puffy and Biggie, Puffy had met with Keefe D at the Greenblatt Deli in Los Angeles, where $1 million bounty was placed on Tupac and Suge Knight.
Who brought up the amount of $1 million?
He did.
Puffy did?
Yeah. When he told me at Greenback.
Police reports from a confidential informant in 1997 claim that Puffy had put a hit out on Tupac and Suge Knight to the Southside Compton Crips. Keefe D claimed he and Eric Zip Martin separately drove to Las Vegas on September 6, 1996. Fellow Crips Orlando Anderson, Terrence Brown and DeAndre Smith also drove to Las Vegas to meet Keefe D, being on the following day on September 7th, 1996. They drove in a white Cadillac which was rented from a rent-a-car company in Compton, being under Terrence Brown's mother-in-law's name. Keefe D claimed they went to Vegas to watch a Mike Tyson fight in the MGM Grand, and they never had tickets to the fight and had watched it from the MGM Grand lobby bar. Tupac and Suge Knight, along with Death Row and Associated Blood gang members, were also going to Las Vegas, as the Mike Tyson fight had been tied into a charity event hosted at a nightclub called Club 662, where a fundraiser was being held for a Las Vegas Metro cop, which Tupac had to serve community service at to avoid jail time. Orlando Anderson was pointed out after the fight by Suge Knight's blood associate Trayvon Lane, who had been involved in an altercation with Orlando Anderson a few months before, after Crips had tried to take the Death Row chain off of Trayvon's neck, as there was a rumour in Compton that Puffy had put a bounty on the chains. Trayvon Lane went over to Tupac and Suge Knight and made them aware of Orlando Anderson, causing Tupac to be the first to run over and attack him, followed by Suge Knight and the Bloods. Keefe D, in his secretly recorded confession, claimed that he was at a restaurant with Zip when one of the homies had come over and told him what had just happened to Orlando Anderson.
He just beat up Lane. Yeah, the MGM at the restaurant. There was a few New Yorkers though who was with Zip.
Keefe D had claimed in his recorded confession that Zip, who allegedly knew of the $1 million bounty, had told them that it was the perfect opportunity to claim it.
Perfect opportunity, baby.
That was Zip talking?
Yeah.
Because of what happened with Lane?
Yeah.
Keefe D, in his initial secretly recorded confession, claimed that the Crips didn't take any weapons with them to Las Vegas and claimed that they had gotten a Glock from Eric Zip Martin to carry out the hit.
We had no pistols down there, and they told me in the lobby that he had some Jimmys in the bins.
Police reports from a confidential witness claimed Eric Zip Martin had told the Crips they had artillery out there. Keefe D had claimed that everybody then told him that Tupac and Suge Knight were going to be at Club 662. Keefe D claimed in his recorded confession that the last thing Zip had said to him, that it was, quote, perfect timing, unquote, to carry out the $1 million hit, to which Keefe D and some Crips got in a van and rode to Club 662, while Orlando Anderson and the other 2 Crips took the white Cadillac. Keefe D claimed after waiting at Club 662 for 20 minutes, they had left and Keefe D had got in the Cadillac and they drove to a liquor store. 3 hours had passed from the initial beatdown of Orlando Anderson, and after leaving the liquor store and searching for the BMW which Suge Knight and Tupac were in, they found them on Flamingo Road in Colville Lane after female fans were screaming out at Tupac. Yaki Gaddafi, Tupac's group artist who was in the car behind the BMW, identified the driver as wearing a white cap. Terrence Brown had been the driver according to Keefe D, who can be seen in this image with the Crips wearing a white.
As a small business owner, you carry a lot of weight on your